This is Photoshop Project C. It's based on lesson 05. You are going to look for 3 images as usual. I suggest you use unsplash.com because they offer copyright-free images. Picture number 1 and 2, you're going to look for a male and female image. You're going to edit both pictures. You're going to remove excess hairs, wrinkles, and blemishes using the healing brush tools. You're going to apply an advanced color correction. Again, the pages are here. Adjust the skin tone and apply a surface blur. So you've done all this in lesson 05, but let me show you a quick demo on how to get started on this. So I'm in unsplash.com. We're looking for images that we can use, one male, one female. You're going to remove the wrinkles and blemishes and so on. There's quite a few here. Let's get started with this one first that we can use. So use the search bar. Once you found your image, you can go ahead and download it for free. Once it's downloaded, I suggest you save it in your folder. This is another one. This is a computer-generated image, a 3D image. You may also use this. I found this off Google. Again, we're not publishing or claiming these images as our own. This is just for practice. So you may also use that like a video game or a 3D image. So I'm going to go ahead and go to File, Open, download, and open that file we just saved. What I need you to do is use the Spot Healing Brush tool. It's going to be right here, Spot Healing Brush. If you don't have your Layers panel, your Tools panel, go to Window, Workspace, Reset, Essentials. So we're just going to clean it up. If there's any wrinkles, any blemishes, again, you can adjust the size, the hardness of your brush, so on and so forth. So I'm going to remove some of these dark spots. I suggest you use short strokes rather than really long ones because that tends to ruin the image. So just short to medium-sized strokes. Healing brush tool, you're going to select a clean part of the skin as your target or your source, and you're going to, just like the clone stamp tool, and you're going to use that to fix your image. Let's see if this works. All right. The next thing we're going to do is adjust the skin tone using the color range. So select color range. Go ahead and select skin tone. You can go ahead and click on detect faces so it'll select that part. Adjustments. Let's add a vibrance. You can go ahead and select any of these if you want, but I'm just going off the textbook. Let's make a little bit of vibrance. And you can double check what changed and what hasn't. You're going to apply a surface blur. So let's go ahead and duplicate this. And go ahead and do that. This image already has a blur in the background, but let's add one anyway. We're just going to put the focus on our subject's face or faces. Click OK. Yes, it looks blurred, but we're just going to erase part of the duplicate file's faces so the faces are sharp and in focus. You can set the opacity to 90 just as the book suggests, or 100, it's up to you. So see, as I'm erasing this, part of the face gets sharper. You can make it a little bit more extreme if you'd like, but that is an option for you. Same here, 3D image. I'm going to use the healing brush tool. Or spot healing brush tool just to remove the blemishes. So it works. So this one messed it up, so I'm going to undo that. Make my size a little smaller. So be very careful here. Maybe the healing brush tool will work better on this image. And let's decrease the size of the brush. There you go. So once you're done with your edits, make sure you save the before and after. That's what you're going to turn in to me on Schoology. Make sure you export it as a JPEG so Schoology can actually read your file. And I'll be able to view your project. When you're done, something like File, Export as, and then you save it as a JPEG. Okay, so format is JPEG, and so on and so forth. The last part of this lesson will be about masking. This is going to be your third and last image. You're going to replace the background of an image, such as putting a person in a different place using masking and other editing techniques we have covered in class. So here's an example. I'm on Unsplash once more. I kind of narrowed it down to this image here. So again, once you pick your image, you go ahead and download it. I went on Google just to see if they have decent sized Disney images. I'm going to try to put that child in Disney or in a picture with Disneyland on it. So just double check that the size is large, at least in the thousands resolution. You don't want to get a thumbnail. Once you've narrowed it down, you can right click. Let's see if this works. Open image. So this one works. So that was right click, open image in new tab. And let's go ahead and save it. So right click, save image as. Again, we're not claiming these images for ourselves. This is just for learning purposes. Let's see if Photoshop can read this JPEG file. I doubt that it is able to, but let's just try it. Let's just try it out. If it works, then we can use it. If it doesn't, we're going to need to open another one. Oh, there you go. It does work. So we're going to take this, and we're also going to open the other picture, this child. So remember what we've done before. We want these two together. So I'm going to go ahead and go to Window, Arrange to up vertical. So we want them side by side. And I'm going to take this child using the Move tool. I'm going to drag and drop the child here. Yes, it's humongous, so we're going to resize it. Okay, so let's go ahead, Window, Arrange, Consolidate. So I have this humongous image of the child here in the smaller picture of Disney. So what I suggest you do is you press Control 0. If this ever happens to you, let's resize it. I'm going to zoom out. I'm pressing Control minus, or you can use the zoom tool, hold down the Alt key so you can zoom out. We're going to resize it, so make sure you select the layer of the child, edit, transform, scale. As you can see, he is so much larger than the artboard. Hold down the Shift key. That way your scale is proportion. I'm zooming in as I'm continuing my scale, and that we'll keep him about the size of the frame for now. We can adjust him later on. Once you're satisfied with your scale, always remember to press enter on your keyboard or the check right here, commit to transform. Okay. Next, you can turn off the background if you want. Next, we're going to do a mask on this child. So we've studied this before. You're going to add a layer mask by clicking on this icon. I'm going to use my brush tool. It's right here, just a regular brush tool. Remember that black conceals, it hides things, and white reveals. It'll show things. So make sure that the mask is selected. You have this rectangular box around it. You can adjust the hardness and softness of your brush by right clicking, okay, or up here in the options menu, options bar. So I have black as my foreground color, and I'm going to start removing the background. There are various ways to mask an image or remove the background of an image in Photoshop. Most of you guys already know this, but this is another technique. This one is non-destructive. So as I'm zooming in, as I'm getting closer to the child, I'm going to adjust the size of my brush and just try to preserve the child itself. Another technique you could use is if you use the quick selection tool. If you are able to make a selection on that child, and I'm going to invert the selection after, you'll see what I mean. I'm just going to remove the background for a quick cleanup. So you can try that technique as well. It's not perfect. We're going to go back and clean other areas as well. To adjust the size of your brush with a quick selection tool, it's the left bracket to decrease, right bracket to increase the size of your brush. I'm just going to go ahead and get some of those details in. And once I'm satisfied, I'm going to go ahead and go to select inverse. Now that will create these walking or marching ants around the canvas. I'm going to go back to my brush tool. So now everything should be selected except for the child. I have the black color again selected, and I'm going to remove the background. It's not perfect, but it does the job quickly. And we can just go back and zoom in to fix other areas. Once you're done, you hit select deselect, zoom in once more, and you can just go ahead and continue cleaning that up. So be creative with this project, have fun with it. This is masking, so removing parts of an image or editing parts of an image in a non-destructive way. So zoom out, see if it works. I'm going to turn on my Disney background. Now you have a giant child in there. Again, you can scale him once more, edit, transform, scale, and you can, make him as size of the people, or you can leave a giant child there if you'd like. Okay. So when you're done, what I need you to do is hit File, export as a JPEG when you submit it to me on Schoology. So once again, this is Photoshop Project C. It's based on Lesson 05 and our masking tutorial from the Adobe website.